So we go once again and we saying faith today, the bill was passed. And the bill says today, I'm reading from NBCnews.com, and there's an article today. It says President Trump on Thursday made good on a promise to allow religious organizations greater freedom in political speech. Now, now there are some people that couldn't even express political opinions. Um, and as I stated, or I'm going to say right now, some churches don't allow their ministers to preach a certain way, to involve anything in terms of politics, because they don't want to lose their tax exempted status, which is their 501c3, which is their tax exempted status. So you are not allowed to use politics, mix politics and religion together. However, today, brothers and sisters, and shalom to everybody that's listened to me. Shalom aleichem to everybody. So I greet you with the greeting words of peace. Shalom aleichem. All of this means peace be unto you, brothers and sisters. But all of this shows you that now the church and the state is aligned together. That's dangerous. The church and the state is aligned together due to the fact that Trump signed this executive order. Now, Trump got in because a lot of white evangelicals, pastors, ministers, whatever, evangelicals put him in office. So he owed them a promise, and the promise is passing this religious order allowing Religious Freedom Act. Now, Trump says that faith is deeply embedded into the history of our country. Is it? It may have, I disagree. It may have the ideas, certain ideas, but this is not a faith-based country. I'm going to tell you right now. America is a United States of America is as a place full of churches. That's basically and temples and whatever. It is not a Christian nation. This is not a Christian nation, and also I believe that, and you might not subscribe to what I believe, but everybody is entitled to their own opinions, and you can feel free to write comments. But this is a corporation, not a nation. Notice I said it's a corporation, not a nation. So in the spirit of our founding and the soul of our nation, I'm going to read that again. He said, faith is deeply embedded into the history of our country, the spirit of our founding and the soul of our nation. Trump said in the Rose Garden at a National Day of Prayer. Notice today is the National Day of Prayer event with religious leaders and White House staff. Brothers and sisters, do be advised. It's going to be an ecumenical movement of group of people. No longer you subscribe to your God. Now everybody's coming together. Don't believe the hype. Don't believe the hype, brothers and sisters. Do not believe the hype. Because this thing is going to get worse. And those of you that want to check more on my website, you can reach us at www.3 angels, ANGELS, M ministries.com. Once again, that's the numerical number 3 angels, M ministries.com. And you could see I'm going to be posting way other information. But this is dangerous, brothers and sisters. If you know, prior to that, there was a minister, and I'm not going to mention his name, his sermons were screened. It was screened. He had to turn in his sermons. The government asked for it. But now, are we really safe in the United States of America? Do we really have rights? Do we really have freedom of speech? I mean, look about it. You go on Facebook and you will express your opinions and you'll get censored, or other agents or other people will try to report you to Facebook. Do we really have religious act? And because this bill is being passed, does it really mean that we become free? free in the United States of America, free to express your opinions, free to express your beliefs? Or this another game? Is this another game, another pawn game? The president declared that his administration would be leading by example on religious liberty in the United States. Now, this is the same president that put the ban on, was talking on the Muslims. Now, is he going to be leading by example? Remember, they said that these Muslims are extremists. Anybody could be labeled as extremist. As a matter of fact, your faith, what you believe, the core tenets of your belief system, if it's contrary to, if it's radical, did you know that you could be, and you didn't even know that? FBI report, Project Megiddo, talks about religious organizations. Look it up. I'm not making it up. You could see it. They're screening. FBI was screening religious organizations all the time. What happened in Waco, Texas, years ago with David Koresh? They were screening religious groups. So, will there be a change, or is this another game? The president declared that his administration would be leading by example on religious liberty in the United States. He says, quote unquote, we are giving our churches their voices back. The church is speaking like a dragon. I mean that this nation is sleeping as a dragon. And this is, you will have to understand the condition of a dragon. Dragons is ruthless. Dragons is tied with the devil. This nation, America, United States of America, is speaking and exerting religious act and telling you what to do without you even knowing that, brothers and sisters. I hope you're paying careful attention to this. Trump promised that the campaign to dismantle the Johnson Act, which bans tax exemption organizations like churches from political speech and activities, his executive order releases IRS enforcement of the ban, while the executive order signals a promise kept. Fully repealing the Johnson Amendment would require congressional action. Now, you gotta think about this. So he's basically saying, because the IRS was screening several churches, and they still are doing that, would that happen? And then the key core thing of this thing that President Donald J. Trump passed today in the bill is the executive order called Promoting Free Speech and Religious Liberty. So it's with free speech and religious liberty. You know that this country there, we always bought under censorship. We were always screened. If you don't believe that, it is, I went to a college where I was looking at certain websites, and this was a religious college, and they were screening everything, that all my activity. I mean, I thought I was under a Gestapo or something like that. And this really happened to me. Let's just think about it. You're going on Facebook. Will you have your right to, even on YouTube, will I have my freedom to express my beliefs? Will I have freedom of speech? Will I have my opinions? Will it be screened? Will it be censored? You got to think about that. I'm new to YouTube, but will they pull me down because my views and my opinions don't subscribe to other people? Will they report me? That's the next thing. I mean, Facebook did it, YouTube do it. Every other channel, they would have to look at your activities to see if you do not become a threat unto the government. And that's a proven fact. Alex Jones has many videos on it. You could take a look at that. You could take a look at many other things that show you that, don't think it. You think, and even this is the Donald Trump said that he would censor the internet. I don't know if you were hearing or paying attention to that. That's another thing that I want to show. He wants to screen the internet, even though the internet is not screened right now. I mean, people think that it's not screened. It's being screened. Everything. Don't think about it. I mean, Some good for security purposes, some not so good. Anybody that wants to paint, always remember that. Anybody that wants to paint a bad picture of you, all they have to do is make you look ugly by casting false things about you. They'll try to not give the whole story. And that's like Donald Trump says, fake news. So they'll give fake news about you. So when we look at these things, um, we could see a lot of things are taking place. I want to mention something. It was something said about religious freedom, a constitution. The Constitution doesn't separate church and state. In the fall of 2010, the Lente witch turned Tea Party Senate candidate sneered at her opponent, Democrat Chris Coons, when he pointed out in a debate the First Amendment to the Constitution prohibits an establishment of religion. O'Donnell, let me just clarify. You're telling me that the separation of church and state is found in the First Amendment? Coons, government shall make no establishment of religion. O'Donnell, that's in the First Amendment? O'Donnell paid with thumping reputation at the polls even in the year of far-right victories. But her mistake was not a random one. As Rush Limbaugh explained in defense of O'Donnell, she was incredulous that somebody was saying that the Constitution said that there must be a separation between church and state. Those words are not in the Constitution. This is what Rush Limbaugh said. So, and this is, if you want to pull this up, June 15, 2011, and you can get that from The Atlantic, theatlantic.com. So, brothers and sisters, that's another thing why the marriage with the LGBT community, they might disagree with me, but they try to show that marriage is solely by the church. So there should be a separation between church and state. That's one of the key points that they brought in that the ideas that they presented. In 2006, Michelle Bachmann warned a Christian group that public schools are teaching children that there's a separation of church and state. She said, I am here to tell you that is a myth. That is a myth. Now, remember that a church has to register. They have to register the name. They have to get an EIN number or tax number. You're registering. Why do you have to do that? Now they said that, wait a minute, so we not render what is due to Caesar? But this is a way of streaming churches. This is a way of controlling churches. Even in, like I said, President Trump said that this bill is for a purpose. You remember that ministers were getting in trouble for not marrying gays, and it was totally against their religious beliefs. But they were targeted that, and I don't know. There was reports that I heard that one minister was incarcerated for that. So these are the different things, brothers and sisters, all out here that we have to pay attention to. Now, what am I saying? Am I saying be a rebel against the government? I'm not saying that. However, I do believe, and I will show you, that this nation is a corporation. Brothers and sisters, even you that are watching, we are living in modern day Egypt. And look, Trump is exerting himself as Pharaoh. And he's standing and he's pushing all these executive orders. Will this compromise your belief? What will come next? What will happen to those who subscribe to their tenets of belief? Will we lose freedom, or will we just have another dictatorship? You got to pray for that. I ask that you pray and you carefully look at these things. So as I share videos, I'll be sharing videos about scripture, what I believe, and so I ask you to pray for me. I ask that all of you pray for me, and I bid you a greeting words of peace of Shalom Aleichem. These are my views and my opinions. Shalom Aleichem.